everybody, Jason Freedman here, Remax Properties down in Newtown in the wonderful Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Welcome to my new podcast, The Wolf Den. Here with my close friend, longtime buddy of mine, Matt Freedman. You may have heard of him. So just kind of launching things off here and looking forward to getting to know some of you and hopefully you get to know me.
Love it. Welcome. I'm happy to be here, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So you and I go way back, almost a million years. Not to age ourselves.
We're young. We're young.
Relatively.
Yeah.
So Bucks County guys, Council Rock grads, same last name, same spelling, no relation that we know of.
Have we ever researched that or no?
Not to the degree that we probably should have. So, there's still room left there. But listen, I wanted to have you tell your story. We go back a long ways. I actually worked for you in my first job at one point.
Yeah.
You've been in the real estate game for a really long time. You've had a really successful career. So you were a born and raised Bucks County guy.
Yeah.
You're here, slanging high in real estate, helping a lot of people. You helped me,
Yeah.
We just use you to purchase and build our home. Tell us about your background. How did you get here?
Yeah. So started out, grew up in Holland, Pennsylvania. So stayed local pretty much my whole life outside of University of Delaware. So I was in Delaware for 4 years. I went to Rider for 1 year in college. And outside of that, a couple of quick stints in Manhattan, just crashing couches and floors and had my own place up there for a while and just various jobs throughout my life and my career and ended up eventually settling back in Bucks County. Lived in Philadelphia for, I feel like 8 years, did the whole Manayunk thing, did the city life, and Bucks County's always been home. Council Rock guy, class of 2000. I think I'm older than you, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm not going to say how much older, but a lot.
So class of 2000, the famous graduating class, Y2K. So, I know this area like the back of my hand. I love it. I feel like I was always meant to end up settling my roots here. I bought a house in Newtown about 2 years ago. So I'm just outside the borough and loving it. And I actually worked in professional sports for, as you kind of alluded to, that I was actually your manager, your boss.
Yeah, you were my boss.
We'll just call it boss. I don't care. It sounds better than Matt. All right, so I was Matt's boss. All right, and
yes.
Worked in professional sports. Started out at the Philadelphia Soul, doing ticket sales. Did that for 3 years. The league had a little bit of a shift and folded, so I moved up to New York for my first stint up there, I believe, working for a professional lacrosse team. Then that league and team actually moved, so I was on the ropes again for a job. Went down to the Philadelphia Union and ran their ticket sales department for about, call it 7 years. So I was director of ticket sales down there, and I did sports for about 10 or 11 years. And I guess I hit a midlife crisis around the age of 35, and I was talking to some buddies who are in real estate, and they told me, as you can probably tell, I can talk to a brick wall.
That's true.
They said you'd be good at real estate. You have to learn the business. You're good with people, and that's honestly step number. You can't teach that. So I knew I had that from the start, and I had the sales background, and then it just kind of, I ended up settling back in Bucks County, and it was the perfect spot for me to start real estate. It's honestly, not to be biased, but it is one of the greatest counties in the country. I think people in other states have heard of New Hope and Newtown and Doylestown. We're in such a great area. And honestly, being from here, I'm proud of that. And I'm happy to help people kind of enjoy what I've enjoyed my whole life.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you've had a really successful career, in business and sales as a leader, as a producer, going from sports to real estate. It's a common theme with guys, maybe our age that have diverse backgrounds in sales or marketing or business development that go into real estate. What was it about real estate that attracted you to it specifically? You mentioned the midlife crisis moment, but there's a lot of benefits to it, the freedom, and other things to make your own hours and build your own business. But what was it specifically for you that attracted you to it?
I think for me, it started out with the transition in career. I think it just I kind of hit a wall of, I guess you can call it boredom with what I was doing. Listen, working in professional sports is a dream for a lot of people. And I think you're not the athlete, so you're not the one, on the field. You're not the one getting all the
Right.
accolades,
Yep.
but it was great. And we had a good time, but I just hit that wall where it's like, am I going to sustain this the rest of my life? And is this something that I can see myself doing forever? And I didn't know it at the time, but I've never been a big corporate guy. I'm casual by nature. I'm not the suit and tie guy. I never will be. I'm not going to pretend to be. I am who I am, and I think with that comes the flexibility in my schedule, the flexibility in how I run my business. And obviously I have a broker that watches over me and makes sure that I'm compliant, makes sure that I'm doing things the right way. But I run my own business, and I didn't know that's what I needed until I got into it. And I think dealing with people with, the biggest decisions of their lives in most cases, and it's pressure, but I think that pressure I thrive off of, and I kind of go back to my baseball days, and your dad knows all about that. But I never got past the junior varsity level in high school, but I was proud of that. I'm not going to let anybody get in my way of that, but I was competitive regardless of what level I made it to in baseball or soccer or whatever I was doing. And I think that like the real estate business, I'm competitive. I want to be better than the next guy. I want to sell more houses than the next guy. I want those rankings to keep funneling through. And a lot of people don't care about that. I do. And I think that's what drives me. And I think it's the kind of business where from year over year, it's one of the easiest businesses to gauge how you're progressing. And that's with a lot of sales, but I think real estate, I find myself falling in love with it more and more over the years with the success that I'm having, not just for myself, but more importantly for the people that I'm helping buy.
Like us, me and my wife.
Like you
guys
guys
to build of course, yeah.
Buying your dream home. And like that gives me satisfaction. And that's something where I don't think that's ever going to die out. I think it's just going to get stronger. So
yeah, you've really, in your real estate career, the couple times, even as going through the process when you helped us, build and eventually buy our home, the cool thing about you is that it seems like you've applied a really entrepreneurial spirit to real estate. How many real estate agents are in your office or any office that are just kind of going through the motions, second career, I sell a house here and there when I can help somebody. You've really applied a rigorous, disciplined startup mentality to it. And, every time we talk, it's inspiring because you're looking at it from a data and a metrics and a growth perspective, the same way that like top entrepreneurs are.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, just so a lot of people don't think of it that way. So where does that come from for you, and why that approach?
I think it's just my drive. I mean, I wake up in the morning, and if I just have to be the best. In my head, whether I'm number 1 or number 500, in my mind, if I feel like I'm on a path to be the best, then that is what's going to keep driving me. And I think maybe it comes from my days in sports, and not just, obviously I didn't take my personal sports to a very high level, but I think even working in professional sports, I think that being around the athletes and watching them perform and watching people in our sales departments succeed, I think I've always had the level of just drive and passion to be better than the person coming up behind me, or even the person that's ahead of me that I'm trying to not overtake in a sense of like, I don't want them to do what they do anymore, but just, I want to be the go-to guy in Bucks County. And there are thousands of real estate agents all over Bucks County. There are 39,000 agents in the state of Pennsylvania.
Wow. Is that right?
So, and I think RE/MAX alone has 2,600 in the state. And then you have obviously all the other brokerages. But yeah, I mean, realtors, there's a stat out there that like 1% of us do 99% of the business. I don't have anything to back that up with, but I've heard people say that. I don't know how true it is. I think the point is that a very small percentage of agents are doing most of the business. And it's not because they're not good. I think if you don't have that drive and like having like that entrepreneurial spirit, like I feel like I do, they kind of just sit back and let stuff come to them. Maybe they're part-time. They let deals come their way. I'm out. If it's not coming my way, I go out and get it. And if I can't find it, I'll look somewhere else, whether it's my advertising or my personal connections, past clients. Like if I don't get a lead per day, I'm in a bad mood.
Wow.
So it's, yeah, I don't like being in the bad mood. So
don't make Jason go into bad mood mode. The one thing you said that's interesting to me, the 99% and 1%, usually you see like an 80-20 blend, 20% of the agents doing 80%.
And it could be more like that, but I think that the mentality is that's what it seems like.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's stats on that.
I wouldn't imagine that you're incorrect on that, because real estate is it's easy to acquire. Well, unless you're like me and failed the test 5 times when you were in your 20s.
Might want to cut that. No, I'm just kidding.
On paper, it's easy to acquire your license, right? But again, like it's the mindset thing for you. It's being competitive. It's coming from probably, a lot of the athletic background, going to a gigantic high school where you had to do something to be able to stand out and make a name for yourself, right? So, is that sort of ingrained, like, in family life? Do you attribute that to, like, parents with Joel and your brother and
Yeah.
being competitive there as well?
I
Like,
think so. Just speaking on my family. So my dad was a business owner for, God, 30, 40 years.
Yep.
And before he was the owner of his company, he was in sales, working for my grandfather, doing odd end jobs in the toy business. And love my dad to death, but he could be, he was tough on us from a perspective of like making sure we get things done when they have to be done. I'm 43 years old and I still get phone calls and text messages if he sees something that maybe I post on social media that he doesn't agree with, or maybe I'm dressed the wrong way.
The backwards hat.
Like the backward. Sorry, Dad. The backwards hat. Like these are that's part of my brand, and I think for older school guys like him, it's hard. Like he's the suit and tie guy, so it's hard for him to understand. But whether I agree with him or not, that mentality from him passed down to Joel, my brother, to Joel and I. I think that certainly helped. And then speaking of my brother, so Joel he's got his hand in, got 3 or 4 different ventures, and he's
super entrepreneurial.
He's in
as
the
well.
He's in the casino business. He had an ice cube coffee thing
remember
going on
that.
for a
Yeah.
while, and I get it from him too. I mean, he's a year and a half younger, but I think he's light years ahead of me in his like true like building businesses. Like I got into a business that already existed. I mean, yes, I'm running it as an entrepreneur, and I'm running my business probably a little bit different than most agents are that might be sitting back, which is fine. I'm not knocking anybody that sits back, but I think I get it from him too, just with his success, and it's not really a competition between Joel and I. It's a I think maybe a friendly competition, like a
Sure,
loving
yeah.
brother competition, but like I want to be successful just like he is, just like my dad was, and now I look at my parents and they're retired and living life because my dad worked hard and he went out there and got what he got, and now he can sit back and enjoy life.
It's awesome.
And I would love to, be in a situation where I'm in my mid 50s, early 60s, and I can take a step back because I hustled here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, man. So the entrepreneur profile, like guys like you and I, right? Usually we've tried a lot of different things. It's change is the only constant for a lot of guys like us. It seems like you've really found a niche here, like specifically in Bucks County, born and raised, working the network, helping a lot of people. What's next? To your point about your dad,
Yeah.
Do you ever give yourself the time and the grace to kind of take a step back and say, you know what, real estate is my purpose right now. I want to help as many people as I can. What's on the horizon for you past real estate? Anything notable or?
Oh man. So I got the homeownership dream out of the way a couple of years ago.
Correct.
So
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's just over 2 years in the house in Newtown. So Krista and I are loving that. As far as kids and marriage and all that kind of stuff, like, yeah, of course we talk about it, and
Yeah.
it's certainly something that we both are striving for. So, as far as like starting a family one day and getting into all that, yeah, of course that's something that I think is extremely important. So I just find myself, and Krista will be the first one to tell you if she was here. I don't want to say I work too much. I'm just so hyper focused on what I'm doing. So we could be watching a movie and it's 10 o'clock at night and I get a message from a title person or a lender or a seller or a buyer or somebody. And everything in real estate is so focused on deadlines and getting things in and being the first offer that comes in because there's 9 more coming right down the line. And I feel like I'm always on my phone, and I really need to like take a step back and just think to myself, I can't be the only agent who might take a step back every now and then. I'm not.
Wow.
Nobody's going to jump in and if I don't respond until the next day, it's not going to kill the deal. It's not going to hurt my client. I have a social life and I have a relationship. I have a family, and the one thing I can definitely improve is focusing more on the other stuff, which I think will eventually end up helping me in my professional life. Because there are days where it's a drag. I mean, I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
I think today I'm all over. Started out in Newtown, went to go show a house in New Hope, went back to Newtown to show a house. Now I'm here with Matt Freedman in New Hope.
Now you're here at the Rhythm corporate headquarters.
So, yeah, now we're here in the Wolf Den.
In the Wolf Den, that's right.
So, and then I'm heading down to Cherry Hill after this
Wow.
for a walkthrough. And then from Cherry Hill back to Newtown, and maybe I have time to have dinner. I mean, it's just, and like I love it, but I gotta like take a step back. Like, and I finally hired a transaction coordinator, so I have somebody helping me out in the office. So if I go away, I know there's somebody there handling my deadlines and sending documents to my clients if I'm on the beach.
Awesome.
So it's nice that's well worth it. So I'm adjusting my business a little bit. My business, it keeps scaling and scaling, which is awesome, but it takes a toll on like your mental health.
Yeah.
And I don't want my mental health to get to a point where I don't want to do this business anymore, because I mean, it might sound crazy, but I have a goal of in the next 5 years, I want to be a top 10 realtor in the state of Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm top 10 out of 39,000. So like, it might sound lofty. I was number 82 last year.
Yeah,
so,
I was going to say you cracked the top 100 last year,
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
you?
and it's I'm proud of it, and I think it's something where you never want to come off as arrogant, you never want to come off as cocky, you don't want to be the second you become that guy. I think it's a huge turnoff. I think 99% of the people that know me, hopefully 100% know that Jason Freedman's a stand-up guy. He's posting all these houses and all these rankings, not to be arrogant, but it's because he's proud of what he does.
Yeah.
He's proud of what he's accomplished, and that's how I want people to get to know me, to know that I'm a guy who's not just about the numbers, although they're important. I'm about helping other people in Bucks County and even in New Jersey or wherever achieve their dreams. And if that makes me ranked higher, that's great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The most important thing, and if you hear the train bells going off, we're right outside of the New Hope train station here. So
They're coming to watch me.
yeah, there's a whole train coming in just to see this podcast. The cool thing that you said though is, what's interesting about you too, and Krista as well, being a fitness instructor, you guys take health incredibly seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
you're always posting 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m., getting in the gym, doing the cycling
I'm
class.
just trying to show my clients I'm awake early. That's all it is. If they need to call me at 5 a.m., they can.
You actually
That's
shoot
it.
those videos at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
and just post them at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I
right?
post the times. It's all time stamped.
Yeah.
So it's part of the business.
Oh my gosh. So the interesting thing you said is, you don't want to get so out of balance chasing that top 10 or that top 100 vision that you have.
Yep.
And sort of abandon the rest of it, like mental health, physical health, and getting so out of balance that, you don't feel like you're authentically yourself when you're showing up for people. What would your message be specifically in this market to someone in Bucks County, maybe just starting out, or saying, you know what, 2025, 26 is the year.
Starting out in real estate. Like
Yeah,
other
I'm
realtors?
gonna, that they're maybe either brand new to real estate in Bucks County as a realtor, or someone who really wants to step on the gas and has aspirations of being, in the top 100 in PA.
Yeah.
What would you tell them in terms of like, setting the mindset, trying to keep some sort of semblance of balance, but also strap up the chin strap, and you got to grind your ass off to achieve what you have.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I would tell them, and you hear this from real estate instructors, you hear it in real estate school when you're getting your license, and you hear it from other people in the industry. I mean, the number one realtor in the world will probably tell you the same thing. When you first get into real estate, it is going to be a grind. I mean, to take the word out of your mouth, it's going to be a grind. You have to hustle. We have a term at Remax, a Remax hustle. It's one of the hashtags I always use. It's one of the slogans that Remax corporate uses worldwide. So if you don't have that hustle, you have to develop the drive, because the first year you might not do a single deal your first year. I mean, my first year in real estate, I did one transaction my entire first year.
You're kidding, really?
So I left.
What year was that?
So I got my license in November of 17.
Okay.
So I got my license pre-COVID, did that. I think I did one deal in my first year. That was it. Did it full time, no other income. And then going into my second year, speaking of being healthy and fit, or trying to be healthy and fit, I go to the Newtown Athletic Club. As you know that place pretty well.
Yeah, we just did the Nashville at the NAC Festival.
Pretty sure you just rocked the house there.
Largest country festival in Bucks County.
I was working. So I don't even know if you knew that. I feel horrible. I'm going to come to your next show.
I knew that you weren't there. I didn't know that you felt
when
horrible.
You saw
so
the link,
thank
I'll
you.
be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there with the link. So, so my second year, so after doing one transaction, honestly, most realtors I think would honestly give up. I think they just say, okay, I can't do this. It's not working. I don't have a pulse as to why, but it's not working. I'm going to go back into corporate life. I stuck with it. One of my buddies was a trainer at the NAC. And he's like, hey man, why don't you just sell memberships here for like a year or two until your business ramps up? So I actually sold memberships at the NAC.
Did you? Oh, I didn't know that.
For about 2 years. And then my business started building. So I went from one transaction to 7 transactions in my second year. And then COVID hit and I went from 7 back down to 3. And then I went from 3 to 17 to 29. And now I'll be somewhere between 40 and 45 transactions this year.
Wow.
And, so you have to stick with it. Like, it's not going to be easy. So if I'm trying to tell somebody that just got their license, like, hey, here's how real estate's going to go. You might be one of the lucky ones that comes into a pile of referrals. Maybe your family is, maybe you come from a family of home builders and you're getting listings right away. And, you know, people certainly get that. And that's great. And anyone who tries to knock them for that is out of their mind, because why would you not want to fall into that?
Sure.
But the average realtor will 100% struggle for at least a year or two. And you have to just break through that. And if you don't hustle through it, if you don't have that grind, if you're not getting up at 5 a.m. for a cycling class and posting that timestamp to show people like, hey, hello world, I'm awake. You know, like if you don't have that, and if you're not willing to be in the office sometimes until 8 o'clock at night, you're not going to get there. And you have to find that balance too. I mean, you have to go out to dinner every now and then. You have to hang out with your significant other. You have to, if you have kids, obviously be there for your kid. Like, you can't let real estate dominate that. But if you're young and maybe you don't have kids, maybe you're not married, maybe you have no pets yet, like you have all the time in the world, I would be hyper focused on your job for a year or two, and that will naturally progress itself into giving you time to relax, and you'll have the leads coming in. You can, I still pay for advertising. You can pay for advertising, but now my referrals are flowing in, family and friends, past clients. Like, that is finally starting to build for me, where the advertising will become obsolete at some point. But yeah, if you can't hustle, you're not in the right profession.
Yeah,
you're not. You're just not. So
it's powerful. Coming from you, the lineage of entrepreneurship in your family, obviously with your dad, you grew up around it, him grinding sales, business ownership, Joel, your brother.
Yeah.
So it's in your DNA.
Yeah.
I think the thing I want to ask you about specific to Bucks County is, if you're getting, we're in a cool area because you can get the hybrid license, you can get Jersey and PA almost at the same time.
Yep.
If you can pass the test, like I couldn't.
It's easy.
Well, that's we're not going to touch that
I couldn't
topic.
tell you when I got my license, I couldn't tell you what a mortgage was. I didn't know what a lender did. I didn't know what title insurance was. I obviously knew what a house was, but I didn't know anything. And I'm not going to lie, Freedman, I passed the test on my first shot. Just going to be honest.
That's why.
Then I got my Jersey license, passed that the first time too. Not to be arrogant, but
Well, it's extremely arrogant to say that in front of me, because I failed 3 or 4 times, but we're not going to cross that bridge. But if you're someone who grew up or is familiar with Bucks County, the Lambertville area in Jersey, like, there's so much opportunity, it seems, here, because home values are incredibly high.
Yep.
You have access and proximity to both New York City, to Philly. You have amazing little towns like New Hope right here, Newtown, Doylestown, so many cool little spots. So what would your advice be to someone that wants to explore or sort of make more of a home here from a real estate and a business perspective of just this pocket of Eastern PA?
So I think like almost anywhere, but I think Bucks County and I'd say anywhere from like where we are in New Hope down through like Newtown and Yardley, over into like Warrington, Chalfont, down through Richboro. I like this corridor is just, I think it's competitive from a standpoint of home prices. I mean, that's number one. And also for a standpoint of, I don't know if it's like the number of realtors. I don't think we have more realtors in Bucks County than there are in Montgomery County, as an example. But I feel like the realtors that are here in those towns that I mentioned, in this little pocket of Bucks County, it's ultra competitive. It could have something to do with the high end homes. It's more competitive to get those listings. You have to have a little bit more of an edge and a little bit more of a brand, and more of maybe more of a track record of sales to have one of those owners trust you to sell their $3 million home. So it's extremely competitive. So if you're somebody that's an agent in this area trying to break into it, I think you just meet as many people as you can. Me personally, and I need to get better at this, I'm not a big networking guy. I probably should be.
That surprises me about you.
I mean, as you can probably tell, I can talk. I'm not shy. I'm not it's fine. Public speaking's fine for me. I don't mind crowds or whatever, but for whatever reason, maybe it's just because I feel like I've done enough with, the podcast thing is new, but I've done enough with my advertising and my social media branding. And I have a nice connected family. I have tons of friends that do well. And I have a lot. I would like to think that most of the agents in the area hopefully know who I am now. I have a great relationship with all of them. And I pride myself more in that than almost anything, is to have other agents in this business respect me. So when they see my offer come in, they know that I'm serious.
Yeah.
Therefore, my client's going to be serious. So anyway, it's kind of sidetracking there. But yeah, I think it's just meeting as many people as you can, going to events, shaking hands, and just meeting the right people. And I think that will help somebody in these competitive areas maybe get a little bit more of a leg up on listings or acquiring buyers. But at the end of the day, your sales speak for themselves. The way you carry yourself speaks for itself. I think how personable you are is huge in this business. But Bucks County is, I think people in California have heard of Bucks County.
We actually,
I mean, it's just
in our
it's
neighborhood.
out
We
there.
had a family from San Diego that just moved into our neighborhood,
Yeah.
and it was all the reasons you described: looking for a great school district, looking for something that is relatively affordable, but a really good area. They wanted, we're in Pipersville, so a little more peace and quiet. But the last thing I do want to ask you, because I want to flip over to some of the core values that Bucks County has, in all the different towns and there's a lot of different flavors in Bucks County, that you can sort of experience. But, you have great schools. You have, median income that's higher than a lot of places in the country. You have some densely populated areas that are really flourishing right now. Like, Warrington just got a Steve's Prince of Steaks. That's a good indicator that, you didn't know this, did you?
I mean, Steve's is honestly my favorite. Everyone's like, oh, Pat's Geno's. I'm like, no.
No, Steve's.
Yeah, Steve's is number one. Then I'll go Jim's. Then I'll go Pat's. Then I'll go Geno's.
All right.
I mean,
that's a good list.
Yeah, man, that was Steve. I don't think I knew that.
So
Learn something new every day.
another top reason to move
Yeah.
to Bucks County. But I want to cap this off with some of the things. Being a local, you and I both grew up here. We went to high school here. We've basically been born and raised within 20 miles of this place. What are some of the core reasons you would tell an out-of-towner, who's maybe heard of Bucks County, or you keep seeing things that New Hope is the New Hamptons for New York City?
Yeah.
Cool little outpost
Celebrities
town.
buying houses here.
You
It's
have a ton
mainstream.
of celebrities buying in this market. What are maybe some of the 3 or 4 things that you would say are like the top reasons, or some of the big values that when people come here, they don't even know because it doesn't show up in a listing?
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure, not necessarily in this order, but I think the proximity of where we lie to other areas. So for those of you who have maybe heard of, or maybe if you haven't heard of Bucks County, or even if you have heard of Bucks County, you can look at it on the map. You see it borders Jersey. Like, anyone can see where it is. But I do think that being an hour and a half to Manhattan, an hour to an hour and a half down to the Central Jersey beaches, 45 minutes to an hour down to Philadelphia, an hour and a half to the Pocono Mountains, I think we're in an area, and maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm licensed in Jersey too, but much better taxes than New Jersey. So if you want to move to New Jersey, I got you. So I think our little pocket here is such a convenient place to live. And then on top of that, you have, again, towns like New Hope, Doylestown Borough, Newtown Borough, all the shops, all the antique stores, all the bars and the restaurants. You have dive bars, you have fancier places, you have your chain restaurants, you have super upscale restaurants that could be large, or they could be your small reservation only sort of place. Like, and being right on the river is great. You can walk over to Lambertville in New Jersey. So like, I think that is huge. The school districts are great. I mean, as agents, we don't really like to say what school's better. We don't really just like we don't comment on crime or the different neighborhood. Like, how many kids live in the neighborhood? Like, we don't get into that just because it's not our job to tell somebody Council Rock is better than New Hope or vice versa. It's not my job to tell you where your kids should go to school. But the reality is the school systems are some of the tops in the country. I mean, we live in an area that has such great education, such great nightlife, awesome shopping, convenience to everything, to mountains, to oceans, to big cities, and the taxes. And the price of the homes are somewhat higher, but I always tell buyers it might be, I deal with buyers from California, Virginia, New York, Florida, somebody else in Georgia I'm working with right now. So I tell them that, the price might be a little bit higher, but there's a reason for that. It's not just, you're not just paying $1 million for a home that you think should be worth 800 somewhere else. Yeah, it might be worth 800 2 hours away from here. It's worth $1 million here because look at where you live. Right. Look at what's around you. Look at the schools. Look at the safety of this area, and just your convenience to everything. And Bucks County, again, we live here. We're biased, of course, but I think it goes beyond that. Like I am very bullish and confident that this is one of the greatest counties in the country for multiple reasons.
That's awesome, man.
Yep. So
very cool way to end it.
Yeah.
So yeah, any parting words? You know, this is the maiden voyage for you, man, being in the Wolf Den. So
just thanks for coming to the Wolf Den. Came up with the name just off the cuff, and I hope it sticks. I hope you enjoy it. I'm looking to, I'm already pretty connected, but I have a lot of room to still grow. And I think I've been resisting this stuff for a long time. Getting on camera, doing this sort of stuff. And honestly, I really enjoy it. I didn't know if I would, but I love it. And I'm hoping to get my name out there, get my face out there, let people know who I am. I don't want someone just to click on my Zillow profile and see my reviews and my sales, which are great. I want them to see my face, hear me talk, get to know me beyond the business a little bit, and understand that I'm somebody who can be in your corner the whole way and get things done for you. And you can go to bed at night knowing that I've got it taken care of.
Yep.
So that, that's the biggest thing.
That's awesome, man. Well, I mean, not only longtime friendship, partnership here, we hired you to help me and Lindsay and build our dream home, so I can't thank you enough for making that happen for us.
Absolutely.
If you need Jason, as a resource, reach out. Hopefully this is the first of many shoots that we get to do together, man. So
100%.
Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate it,
Thank you,
brother.
sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome.